Simple matter. I don't know why it has generated a debate. Honorable members, my understanding of what the majority leader has done is to seek my leave, to draw my attention to a purported conduct or act of contempt of Parliament. And he proceeded to tell you the steps he has taken before now seeking the leave. And the first step was to give me prior information, that is notice, which he referred to. And the second is to get out on the floor to seek the leave. Why is he seeking the leave? He's seeking the leave because on the order paper, we don't have item there referring to contempt of Parliament. If we had the item on the order paper, then there will be no need for him to seek leave because it's already on the order paper. But when it's not on the order paper, you have to seek leave. The timing which he did was to look at what is said on the order paper vis-à-vis the standing orders. And you know from the order paper, we try to follow the order as set out in the standing orders. And so when you go through prayers, roll call, national pledge, message from the President, all those are said because of time constraints. We couldn't go through roll call, national pledge, and the rest. Then the item I took was 5, formal communication by the Speaker, which is captured in the Standing Orders 67(1)G. And so you follow down. And so when you follow through and you see that something that is captured in the order is not appearing on the order paper, but you want to raise it on the floor, then you now seek the leave of the Speaker. If it is on the order paper, you don't seek the leave of the Speaker again because it's there. And that is what he did. And so you see that after my formal communication, if you go through the rest, the next item from all the rest is what he has raised after the correction and adoption of votes and proceedings and official reports is what? Complaints, because we don't have any statement because I made my formal communication. Presentation of business statements, there's nothing like that. Then statements by ministers, there's nothing. So the next one is complaints of contempt of Parliament or breach of parliamentary privilege. And that is why he stood up to seek my leave, because that item is not captured on the order paper. If it were captured on the order paper, I will refer to it, and there will be no need for him to seek my leave again. So the majority leader has not done anything out of order. He is in order, and I'll grant him the leave to raise the issue. Please, majority leader, you may do so now.
Mr. Speaker, our standing orders provide in Order 31, which deals with specific acts of contempt of Parliament or breach of parliamentary privilege. But even before then, we have Order 30, which describes, Order 30 says, an act or omission which A, obstructs or impedes Parliament in the performance of the functions of Parliament, B, obstructs or impedes the Speaker, a member, or an officer of Parliament in the discharge of the duty of the Speaker, member, or the officer, and C, affronts the dignity of Parliament, or D, tends either directly or indirectly to produce a result referred to in paragraphs A, B, or C. Then 31 deals with the specific acts of contempt of Parliament or breach of parliamentary privilege. 31O specifically is what I intend to base my complaint on. 31O says, any of the following acts or conduct constitutes contempt of Parliament or breach of parliamentary privilege. O, any act or omission which affronts the dignity or authority of Parliament, or which tends either directly or indirectly to bring the name of Parliament into disrepute. So an act that affronts the dignity or authority of Parliament, or which tends either directly or indirectly to produce indirectly to bring the name of Parliament into disrepute. Mr. Speaker, I think somewhere on the 22nd of July, this House passed a resolution constituting the delegation of Ghana to the ECOWAS Parliament, ECOWAS Community Parliament. Mr. Speaker, if you recall, we had removed the name of the minority leader, Honorable Afenyo Markins, Alexander Kwamina, member for Efutu, from the list of Ghana's delegation to the ECOWAS Community Parliament. So, Speaker, this resolution of this Parliament was communicated to the ECOWAS Parliament by, I believe, your good self. Mr. Speaker, the ECOWAS Parliament convened to sit in Port Harcourt in Nigeria from the 25th to the 28th of September 2025. That's Port Harcourt in the River State of Nigeria from 25th to 28th September 2025. Mr. Speaker, this Parliament's delegation, as constituted by our resolution, went to Port Harcourt and they met the Honorable Afenyo Markins, Alexander Kwamina, sitting there and refusing to give way as directed by this Parliament. Indeed, whilst our nominated delegation were there, and it was time to swear in members, the ECOWAS Parliament refused to swear in Ghana's delegation. They refused to swear in Ghana's delegation and said that and said that they will not, then caved in, and swore in four members of our delegation. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Afenyo Markins Alexander Kwamina was at that session of the ECOWAS Parliament, attended that session of the ECOWAS Parliament in clear defiance of a resolution of this Parliament. In clear defiance of a resolution of this Parliament. That is why, Mr. Speaker, I have cited the provisions of Order 31-0, which says that any act or omission which affronts the dignity or authority of Parliament, Mr. Speaker, and let me emphasize, authority of Parliament, any act that affronts the authority of the Parliament of Ghana or produces any such effect constitutes contempt of Parliament and a breach of parliamentary privilege. Mr. Speaker, by defying this Parliament resolution, removing him from the delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament, and actually going to Port Harcourt and attending the session, Mr. Speaker, he has clearly affronted the dignity and engaged in an act that constitutes an affront to the authority of this Parliament. And it is time that the Honorable Afenyo Markins be put in his proper place. Mr. Speaker, I therefore rise pursuant to the relevant orders to make a complaint of contempt of Parliament and a breach of parliamentary privilege, and to urge you, pursuant to the appropriate orders, to refer the Honorable Afenyo Markins Alexander Kwamina to the Privileges Committee for him to be processed. And if indeed the committee comes to a conclusion that my contention that he indeed went and attended the session in clear defiance of our resolution, and that that act constitutes an affront to the authority of this House, that the appropriate sanctions be executed in relation to the Honorable Alexander Kwamina Afenyo Markins. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, you have heard the complaint of contempt being laid before all of us. The rules are clear. I'll have to come back to the House as to my view on this matter before I decide whether to refer it to the committee or not to refer to the committee. So I have that decision to make, and I need to consider it before I do so. So I will take the whole of today to consider the complaint, and tomorrow I will then communicate my decision to the House. The House. Yes, honorable members, I think we've had enough of exchanges on this matter. The rules are very clear. In drafting these rules, we took it becomes an order. And there must be exceptional reasons why the person will not be able to attend. By the way some of them write the letters, they don't attach seriousness to the work we do here. And so, please, ministers, kindly get in touch. This was discussed and is being raised again. It means it's of concern to the House. So please, let's try to resolve it. But the practicality of the system we have now is such that the bureaucracy is still weak. Bureaucracy is still weak. The administration is not that responsive. And the same applies to Parliament. We are also not too responsive to queries from the public as a result of the capacity of the bureaucracy. So let's take this in good faith, but try as much as possible to enforce compliance to our standing orders. Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we'll take that on board. Unfortunately, the Ministry of Environment does not have a deputy minister, and so that is one constraint. Secondly, the Ministry of Employment also does not have a deputy minister. In this instance, the minister just tells me that the question actually got to them on Friday, and he was not even in the country on Friday, but he received the communication and gave instructions that the Chief Director should request for rescheduling so that he can adequately prepare and provide the appropriate answers. But we'll take on board all the concerns raised by honorable members, and we will make sure that ministers attend as scheduled, and if there's a very good reason why we should reschedule, we'll consider it as a House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please.
Speaker, we want to assure the leader that we'll give him the maximum cooperation. But we will not compromise on the ministers coming to this House to answer questions. That we will not compromise on. And we will demand an official correspondence. No. You were once here. That was your seat. That was your seat. So, what is that? You can speak. We are saying that you have to come to the House. And so we will support you, but
11th. So we are not out of the 3 weeks. And the letter clearly stated that at the time they received the question, the minister was out of the jurisdiction. And so how come it was scheduled without consulting the minister again to know whether the minister is available or not available and to answer? So this is something that I said is a weakness of the bureaucracy we have to work on. So please, Minister, you want to have a bite?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I just wanted to state for the record that as a fifth-time member of Parliament, a former deputy leader of this House, I take the business of this House very seriously. And in fact, it is the reason why when the information reached me and I look at the time limit and the questions that must be answered, I felt it was important that I extend it so I can prepare properly and come to this house. That's how serious I take this house. And so I think that it's important as we discuss this, that the clerk must also look at the time of communication and what time the ministers will have to prepare for the question. In this particular case, if you look at Friday and consider the fact that I was not in the country and arriving on Monday, and I'm expected to come on Tuesday to answer. And in fact, I don't simply take the questions as has been given to me by the civil servants. I probe further, I ask questions, so that I'm sure that when I come here, I can give the right answers. And so, Madam Speaker, I think that's why, but we take the business of this house very seriously.
Thank you so much. Yes, as a former leader, that's the right thing to do. Honorable members, I have correspondence confirming the date that the Minister for Finance will appear before the House to present of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama for the 2026 financial year on Thursday, 13th November 2026. I respectfully seek your kind approval to facilitate the necessary arrangements for the presentation to proceed. Please accept the assurances of my highest consideration. Dr. Kesiel Atuf Forsen, MP, Minister. Honorable members, let me also acknowledge the presence of the Assembly members from Ahanta West Municipality. They are led by the presiding member, Honorable Isaac Bassau. And they are coming from the Ahanta West constituency. They are 49 in number. Honorable members, you are welcome to Parliament. I know you are itching to be here. So it's good you've started coming to get a feel of it. And we ourselves are preparing to come to you to see how the two could work together to build up to be able to work at the local level and get the assemblies to be more efficient and more effective than we have now, because governments will be sending much more money to the assemblies, and those monies should be properly utilized to the benefit of the people. So we are happy that you find time to come, and on behalf of the House, I warmly welcome you. Please take time and go through the process, and before you leave here, you'll be better than you came in. Thank you so much for coming. You may resume your seats. Yes, I've just been prompted about the timing. The sitting of the House, as you know, is 2 p.m. And so the budget too will be at 2 p.m. We will be doing a few things in the morning. And so the minister will appear at 2 to present the budget statement. Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, you just read to us the letter received from the Minister of Finance regarding the 2026 budget statement, which is to be read or presented on Thursday. Mr. Speaker, you may be aware that you admitted a motion, which motion seeks to invite this House to determine Order 1952. Mr. Speaker, this motion has been appearing on the order paper since 11th of March, and even today, it is at page 7, entitled Motion 16, and with your leave, I read that pursuant to Order 127 of the Standing Orders, the Right Honorable Speaker reviews the ruling made on the 11th of March 2025, dismissing an application made by Honorable Habib in accordance with Order 1952, seeking the indulgence of the House to determine the form in which the Minister of Finance was to present the budget statement and economic policy of government for the 2025 financial year. Mr. Speaker, with respect, I submit that this motion is dealt with so that you give your ruling, and if your ruling in one way or the other directs which form the budget is to be presented, then indeed the House will be bound by that clarity given by you as the Speaker, and then we can make progress. Mr. Speaker, that is all my prayer on this rising. Thank you.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I think the Business Committee did program the motion as one of the businesses that may be conducted by this House this week. Of course, once Right Honorable Speaker has admitted it, we may try and take it. But I do not think there's any doubt regarding how the budget is to be presented. I think the standing orders dealing with this matter are very clear. Order 197 talks about presentation of annual budget statement. I think the dispute is whether it should be by motion or by a statement. If I recall, that was the main issue. But Order 195 is quite clear. And I think, Right Honourable Speaker, you gave a ruling on the matter. I think what is being pursued is a review of your decision, if I recall. So the legal position is quite clear. It is a request for review that is pending. So I don't think there's any problem as to how and the form in which the budget should come to this House. Be that as it may, Mr. Speaker, I don't know if space will permit us between now and Thursday to take that motion. But, Mr. Speaker, this is a matter entirely for you to determine. You determine the business of the House.
So I just want to put it in this perspective, that we've not gone to sleep on this. The majority leader himself is aware the number of times we have insisted that we should deal with this thing together with motion 15. And the last time, on last Friday, I made a point here that if we had found space to determine motion 15, perhaps there would be no need at all to raise another matter regarding whether or not, when there is a pending matter in court, Parliament is stopped or otherwise. So, Mr. Speaker, we have been very vigilant and been pursuing, particularly these two motions. So if, by the grace of God, tomorrow is available, we've always been prepared. We would make our case in this court, in this honorable house, for Mr. Speaker to make his determination, so that Thursday there wouldn't be the need to now go through the matter again. We haven't suddenly woken up to put pressure for this motion to be considered with respect. Thank you so much, sir.
Honorable members, may we proceed? We're at item 7. Questions. We have 10 questions. Majority Leader, yes.
Mr. Speaker, I want to ask for your indulgence so that we can just lay items in 9, 9C, please. What D? Minister, C? 9C, and then 9D also. Just the two items, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, there's an application for us to vary the order of business and start with public business now. I grant leave for that, and you want private business?
No, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to respond to the application.
Yes.
Speaker, with respect, the majority leader knows that, yes, he leaves the house, but we engage. A surprise that he's springing on us. We don't want to say it's one of his several surprises, because he to spring has many weapons under his armpit. You don't know when he's unleashing. So, Mr. Speaker, we are here. So, dealing with him, he must always be alert, and will always be alert. Much as we are not opposed to this application, we want to urge upon him to ensure that he does disclosure. Even in a criminal trial, the rule is that ab initio, disclose all your weapons, even in a criminal trial. Mr. Speaker, I rest my case there.
Honorable members, item 9. At the commencement of public business, presentation of papers. The following papers will be presented: 9A by the majority leader.
Report of the Auditor General on the technical and forensic audit on the Central Service Management Portal and metric app of the National Service Authority.
Honorable members, the said report is referred to the Public Accounts Committee for consideration and report to the House. Majority Leader, yes.
Mr. Speaker, if my friends on the other side are not opposed, we could allow one of the ministers present to also just lay item 9B before the Minister for Land lays his.
Yes, minority from bench. 9B.
Okay. Yes, please proceed.
Honorable members, 9B, Roman 1 and Roman 2.
Half-year Audit Committee report on the births and deaths registry for the period 1st January to 30th June 2025. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Nanumba North Municipal Assembly for the year 2024.
Honorable members, the said half-year Audit Committee report and annual statement by the Audit Committee are referred to the Committee on Local Government and Rural Development for consideration and report to the House. Yes.
Speaker, a while ago, the majority leader sought your leave for the Lands Minister to lay the paper for and on behalf of the local government minister. And Speaker, I wish to come under order 97.3. 97.3. Speaker, with your leave, a short explanatory statement shall be made by the person presenting the paper where requested by the House or a member upon the presentation. As we I humbly request the minister to do the needful. He should do the needful.
Honorable member, you referred to order 97.
So we are order 97.3.
3.
Yes. A short
Now,
explanation.
97.3 says a short explanatory statement shall be made by the person presenting a paper where requested by the House or a member upon the presentation. So it's not automatic. You have to request.
So I am actually requesting the minister.
Please. Your request came after I had finished with that. We've gone to the next item. You were not timeous. That is the issue.
With respect, in this house, the rules, you interpret the rules.
Yes.
As we the practice has always been that application is made before the referral is done. Yes, as we I was timeous, and I was just waiting patiently. As we so I'm on all fours. So I'm on all fours. So I do respect.
I am very clear on this matter. When the majority leader requested, in fact, he even referred to you. He says his friends opposite, whether they will not object to another minister presenting the paper on behalf of the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy, and Religious Affairs. Luckily, you stood up and said you have no objection. And so I read and he laid. Then I went to the next item. And that is when you then rose up to try to submit. And I said, you are not timeous. The time he laid was the time you should have requested for him to say something as a short explanatory statement. You understand?
Speaker, with respect.
But you didn't do that.
Speaker, with respect. If the minister doesn't lay the paper, I will not have a basis
That
to
is
come
what
under
I
90.
said. Exactly what I said. I said immediately he laid the paper. That's when you should have asked. He has laid it. Honorable member, maybe you were not paying attention. Maybe you were not paying attention. Majority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I saw the drama because I faced this side. I saw the drama on that side. Mr. Speaker, I can tell you what I saw. He got up and had no objection to the paper being laid by the lands minister on behalf of the local government. He had no objection. And in not objecting, he didn't add any conditions. But afterwards, I saw the order paper being ferried to him. The order paper, the rules were ferried to him, and then, you know, he saw the opportunity. He saw the opportunity, believing that being the minister not responsible for that sector, the minister might have challenges. But Mr. Speaker, these are statutory reports, statutory audit reports. And this House has been laying and referring those statutory audit reports to the various committees. So I don't think that we should belabor the point, Mr. Speaker. We still have 10 questions to ask. And if we make it difficult for question time to start, we will have a backlog of 300 questions. And then every day we'll complain about the 300 questions. So I think we should let business proceed.
Yes.
Speaker, with respect, my leader just made a comment which I find quite unfortunate. I have my rules books with me always. This is the standing order, and this is the Constitution of the Republic. I carry them every time, every day. They are in my bag. So don't say that the rules were just ferried to me. No. Majority Leader, no. I take offense in that. I'm a dutiful member of Parliament. I pay attention to processes on the floor. So don't say the rules were just ferried to me. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing. I won't belabor the point. I won't belabor the point. But the point was that if you don't lay it, how do I come in to activate 97.3? I would not. You can't put, I can't put nothing on nothing. It can't be done. But whatever it is, we will not litigate on this matter. It should proceed. It should proceed, and that is how magnanimous we can get. Proceed and execute your business. I always carry my standing orders. I always carry my constitution. Please, I wish you take notice of that. You see me always carry my orders. So don't say they were just ferried to me. That's not right.
Honorable minority Chief Whip, I always see you carry your standing orders and constitution. And in fact, this morning you referred to it a number of times. That is true. The only place I disagree with you, and I'm trying to draw your attention, is that after the paper is laid, then you make your request. Now, when you don't make your request, and now I have referred the paper to the committee, and then you are now coming back, because I've already referred to the committee and said they should go and consider and report to the House. Then you now request. Then I say, oh, it's belated. That is my response. I'm not saying that you should make the request before the paper is laid. No, that is not proper. Immediately after it's laid, you make your request. But the minister is here, and as you said, these are routine audit reports. So you don't need much to say than what is stated there. But you've made your point. Let's move on to item 9C. by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Sorry. You want to draw his attention?
Mr. Speaker, equity, as you just said, does not favor the indolent. We must not come too late in the day. Since you've mentioned 9C, fortunately, yeah, 9C. No, it's not been late. We did 9B. You don't bring confusion. It's 9C. Mr. Speaker just mentioned 9C. 9C, Mr. Speaker, it is being done, fortunately, by the minister himself. So, if it pleases the chair, I shall invoke Order 97.3 of the rules of this House and pray that the minister act in terms of Order 97.3. Mr. Speaker, the reason for this is because this lease agreement is a very important matter of national interest. The Speaker may recall that in the 8th Parliament, this matter came up and our friends who are in government today had serious issues for all of us to deal with. So, Speaker, if today a thing like this has come back and they've gone to sign a new agreement and all, Mr. Speaker, my understanding is that the agreement has seen some amendments. Whatever it is, I would beg of the minister to give a short explanatory statement on this. Mr. Speaker, the mere fact that the presentation of papers is procedural does not mean, Mr. Speaker, that members of this House cannot interrogate the matter before being referred. That is why, Mr. Speaker, if you look at Order 97.5, it provides that the Speaker may refer the paper to the relevant committee where appropriate. May refer. It does not, what that tells us is that where in the wisdom of Mr. Speaker, the paper will require further executive or ministerial action, Mr. Speaker may direct, if not persuaded, to say that, look, Minister, take this back and do the needful. It is not automatic, else the provision would have read shall. The provision there is not shall. It doesn't provide a mandatory obligation on the Speaker. Mr. Speaker has a discretion, and that discretion is to suggest that where it is imprudent for such a paper to be referred, Mr. Speaker will not. So, Mr. Speaker, if you read this 97, 5, 3, and 1 together, it gives you a clear understanding what the intent of the drafters of this regulation wanted us to do. The paper must have sufficient copies distributed. Do we have sufficient copies distributed? If so, when a member sees the need to request that the minister makes a short explanatory statement which would cover the key areas of the subject matter, that the rule says that it's mandatory, you must. Then upon that, Mr. Speaker may then decide, no, what you have done is not persuasive enough, please take it back and come back. So there's no automaticity rule. There's nothing like that that is automatic. Once you present a paper, it will be referred. That is not there. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a new matter. We've never dealt with a thing like this in this House. And I would pray that the minister obliges my prayer so that we can make progress. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the Minority Leader is clearly out of order. Out of order because the order is very clear. A short explanatory statement, short, in fact, it could be as short as one sentence. It says short. So the minister can get up and say that as a result of new developments, it has become necessary to bring it back for Parliament to reconsider it. That is a short explanatory memorandum. But, Mr. Speaker, it says a short explanatory statement shall be made by the person presenting a paper where requested by the House or a member upon the presentation. Mr. Speaker, what I thought he would be asking you to interpret, at what stage will we say that the presentation has been made? At which point a member can then get up and request for an explanatory memorandum, a short explanatory statement. So I don't recall that the presentation has been done yet. It hasn't been done. And you're already on your feet asking the minister to make a short statement. And you are not just asking the minister to make a short statement. You have proceeded to engage in a jurisprudence of interpreting the rules to the speaker, explaining what the rule means, and that's not important. Wait, when the presentation is made, then your rights kick in. You ask for a short statement, and the statement could be as short as a sentence, and then we move on.
Honorable members, the difficulty we have here is that some of us are suffering from confirmation bias. Confirmation bias. You have some ideas in your head. Whatever is said is of no essence. You don't hear it. You have to say something to confirm what you have in your head. We've gone through this process. And in fact, when the minority chief whip spoke, and I explained it, he was nodding his head. And the process is that when I call the paper, it has to be laid. When it's laid, then a member can get up and ask the person laying to make a short explanatory statement. Before I call on the committee to go and consider and report back to the House. We've gone through this step by step. We have gone to the next item. It's not yet been laid. And then the person who is to lay it is already being called upon to give a short explanatory statement. That is a case of confirmation bias. So whatever you say, you don't listen. Please, let's be doing this in this House. We devoted time for a study of these standing orders. We had a workshop. And now you come and we sit and we're now going through it, guidance, this and that. And Ghanaians are watching and willing to see business of the House. Then we are still learning our rules, our procedures. That is not good enough. Please, let's proceed. Minister, lay the paper.
Mining lease agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and Barari DV Ghana Limited for the mining of lithium and other minerals at Mankasim, 42.663 kilometer 2 in the Infantiman district in the Central Region.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in terms of Order 97.3 and pray that the Minister provides an explanatory statement in respect of the paper he just presented.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Madam Speaker, as you know, the lease was presented indeed in the 8th Parliament for ratification pursuant to Article 268(1) of the 1992 Constitution and Section 5(4) of Act 703. But it was not ratified before the House adjourned. Since then, the basis in which the agreement, especially the price of lithium, at the time of the negotiation was about $3,000. Price of lithium had fallen, the current price to about $630, making the project really at risk in going forward. The company appealed that if they were to go forward, certain key provisions must be looked at. Indeed, it was very clear and public knowledge that lithium prices had fallen. We took advantage of, at the time, the high lithium prices of $3,000 to, for example, move beyond the normal royalty of 5% and move it to 10% and other provisions. Based on their request, 3 key areas has been looked at: the royalty rate adjustment, VAT deferral on capital inputs, and SOPON transshipment facility feasibility. These 3 areas were new areas that has been factored, and that called for us to look at the new lease. The new lease has been negotiated, sent to Cabinet for approval, and we are here in Parliament to get ratification in accordance with Article 268 of the 1992 Constitution. I thank you.
Honourable members, I accordingly